Hello learners, let me give you a quick puzzle. A number multiplied by itself then added with 5 times the number gives 6. Can you guess the number? Problems like this confused mathematicians for centuries, but there is a beautiful method to solve them, and that method comes from something called quadratic equation. Let's convert the quadratic equation into this form. Today, I will show you how to solve such equations step by step. In your class ISC exams as well as JEE examinations, quadratic equations are guaranteed to appear. But many students lose marks because they don't understand the concept behind the formula. In this video, I'll show you the logic, the methods, and the fastest way to solve them. Any equation which has highest power of the variable 2 is called a quadratic equation. Here a, b and c are constants, whereas x is the variable. Let's start and stay till end because I will cover each and every topic which may appear in exam from quadratic. So, as I told you, these are constants. If b is equals to c is equals to 0, then ax square will be 0. If we put 0 in this and 0 in this, then the equation will be formed as ax square is equals to 0, and such equation is called as unaffected equation. But if b is equals to 0 and c is not equals to 0, in this c was 0 and b was also 0, in this c is not 0 but b is 0, then ax square plus c is equals to 0 will be the formed equation, and it will be called as a pure quadratic equation. Here also unaffected quadratic equation. I hope you all are clear with this. Now, let's move on to next topic. From this equation, we get two answers of or values of x. One is positive and one is negative, or any other two values, okay? And these values are called solutions of quadratic equation. Clear? Now, let us understand how to find out solutions of a quadratic equation by some methods. And there are two methods for finding the solutions of quadratic equation. First method is by factorization method. And second method is by discriminant method. I am going to tell you these two methods in detail one by one. First, let us understand how to find out solutions of a quadratic equation by factorization method. To understand in this, let us take one example of a quadratic equation. I am taking this quadratic equation. Here, to do factorization, we will make factors of this. So, how can I break out this into factors? Here, the multiple of x, or we can say the coefficient of x square, and the c, which is the constant, we have to multiply both of them. The 2 ones are 2. Then we have to do the prime factorization of the product of coefficient of x square and the constant c. Now, let us do the prime factorization of 2 is only 2 and 1. Then, what will we do? We will write how can we form 3. Here it is plus, here it is minus. 3 comes from 2 plus 1. We have to make sure then that if we add them, we get this, and if we multiply them, we get 2 and 1 ka product. Okay. Now, let us write 2 plus 1. Here you have to keep in mind we have plus 2. By any chance, if we get x square minus 3x minus 2 is equals to 0, we cannot write 2 plus 1 because here we got the prime factorization as minus 2, but we will solve as plus 2 only, but we will not be able to write 2 plus 1 because here the product will be minus 2 and we cannot plus 2 plus 1 because 2 into plus 1 gives plus 2 and 2 into minus 1, matlab 2 into minus 2 into 1 gives minus 2 as the product. So we will not be able to do this. Okay. Now let us solve it. X square minus 2 plus 1 x. We have just broken this. We have just broken this 3 into 2 plus 1. Then we have written this is equals to 0. Now let us write by multiplying this individually with x. X square minus 2x minus x plus 2 is equals to 0. Now let us separate them into different brackets. Let us keep this into 2 brackets and let us keep this into 2 brackets. While putting the brackets, we will change the sign inside the bracket. I hope I am clear with this and I hope you are familiar with BODMAS rule. Okay. Now, okay. Now let's solve this. First, taking the common in this. X will be the common. X minus 2. Here 1 will be the common. X minus 2. Now writing the equation as this. X minus 1. X minus 2 is equals to 0. Here we get x is equals to 1 comma 2. And these are called the solutions. But we got a problem with this factorization method, which is we cannot find factors of each and every product of coefficient of x square and c. Now let's consider this discriminant method. Here we take one equation as an example to understand this. X square plus x plus 1 is equals to 0. Now let us solve it by factorization method first. We will try to solve this. Here is 1 coefficient of x square and c is 1. So 1 into 1 gives 1. We will take prime factorization, so it is only 1. Here is 1. अगर हम 1 plus 1 करेंगे तो 2 हो जाएगा and it is not possible to write here. So we are not able to do this question by factorization method. Now let us solve using discriminant method. You have to consider, or we know that it is a coefficient of x square, coefficient of x is b and it is c. We know that as we have the equation ax square plus bx plus c is equals to 0. And we have the ditto copy equation of this. Okay. Now, here we will write this one by one as, let me change the color. A is equals to 1, B is equals to 1 and C is also 1. Now here's a formula which is discriminant formula which you have to learn. Okay. Now let us solve. D is equals to B square minus 4AC. First you have to find out D, which is discriminant. Okay. D is equals to B square minus 4 into 1 into 1, which is 1 minus 4, which is minus 3 ka under root. Now we will write, and here is next formula for the solution of x. We will write solution as x and we will write the variable here which is in the question. Okay. X is equals to minus b plus minus, as we have to get two values, then we will write b plus minus under root d upon 2a. I have given you the compressed formula of this, but in your books they have given only the expanded formula as x is equals to minus b plus minus under root b square minus 4ac upon 2a. Okay. Now you can use any formula, but according to me it is convenient to solve first d and then put it with its value here only. Okay, now let's solve. X is equals to minus b, which is minus 1, plus minus अंडर रूट d क्या था, -3, अंडर रूट -3 था, -3 था, अंडर रूट -3. 1 second, it is -3, not under root -3. My mistake, under root, sorry, -3. Okay, now it will be -1 plus minus under root d means under root -3 upon 2a. I hope you are familiar with the concept of complex numbers where we have negative roots. Let me make you familiar with some basic concepts of complex numbers. I is equals to under root -1, whereas I square is equals to -1. If you know this much of complex number, then you can solve this question further. -1 plus minus under root 3 and बाहर आप लिख सकते हो I, because you will see here 3 into -1 and -1 का अंडर रूट क्या होता है हमारा I. So I under root 3 अंदर ही रह गया, and here we will write x is equals to I under root 3 by 2. You can solve the value of root 3. You will write I as I only, plus minus, आप इसको plus minus को खोल दोगे, एक तरफ plus एक तरफ minus, and you can solve this question further. Let's not waste further time in this question only, and let's move on. Now next topic is method to make a perfect square. Perfect square बनाने का तरीका क्या है? Make the coefficient of x square unity. Unity means 1. I will explain these steps in the next example, which is following the slide. Take the half of coefficient of x and square it. Add and subtract the square term. जो यहाँ पे term आएगा उसको आपको add करना है और subtract करना है in the expression which will be in the question, and adjust करना होगा हमें a plus minus b का whole square. Now let us understand this through this example. First of all, we have to make the coefficient of x square as unity. How will we make that? By dividing the equation by this number. X square minus 4 by 2x plus 5 by 2 is equals to 0. Now, x square minus 2x plus 5 by 2x, let me write it properly, 5 by 2 is equals to 0. Now, what we have to do? We have to take the coefficient of x, which is -2, divided by 2, and then square it, which will be 1. Now we have to add this square term and subtract it from the equation. Add, then subtract. Now, can you see what is forming here? X minus 1 का whole square -1 plus 5 by 2. Now, x minus 1 का whole square is equals to 1 minus 5 by 2, which is -3 by 2. X minus 1 का whole square. We have nothing to do here in this example, but this example was meant to make you clear with the steps. I will make you understand what is the importance of this perfect square बनाने की method in some other questions. Now, I am giving you another question for practice. X square minus 25 is equals to 0. We can write x square minus 5 square is equals to 0. Chalo, let me make you solve this question first, then I will solve this question. 1, 2, 3, done. Now let us solve. X square minus 5 square is equals to 0. A square minus b square is a plus b, a minus b. Okay. X plus 5 x minus 5 is equals to 0. First we will put x plus 5 is equals to 0. Then we will write x minus 5 is equals to 0. Then we will write the answer as x is equals to minus 5, and here from here we get the answer 5. So x has two values, or we call it them as solutions. Okay. Let me give you another example. The more you practice, the more you get perfect. X square plus 25 is equals to 0. Here we will write x square, here is plus. Ab a square plus b square is nothing. So how will we do this question? It is 25. To make minus here, हमें माइनस चाहिए होगा a स्क्वायर माइनस b स्क्वायर बनाने के लिए. तो हम यहाँ माइनस बनाने के लिए क्या कर सकते हैं? एक्स स्क्वायर प्लस 25 इंटू माइनस 1, और यहाँ पे हम लिखेंगे माइनस का. तो माइनस माइनस प्लस हो जाएगा, तो 25 प्लस का आ जाएगा यहाँ पर. अब एक्स स्क्वायर, आई टोल्ड यू I is equals to under root minus 1, I square is equals to 1. So we can write the value of I square is minus 1, sorry. Then we can write the value of minus 1 as I square here. Now you can see the squares forming. X square minus 5y ka square. A square minus b square again forming here. X plus 5y, x minus 5y is 0. X is equals to 5y comma minus 5y, and we get the two solutions again here. Let me give you one more question like this. X square plus 5 is 0. How will you solve this question now? X square, now x square here is plus, we will make it into minus. Plus, minus 5 into minus 1. It will be only plus 5. अगर minus minus plus हो जाएगा तो plus 5 already हो जाएगा वो. X square minus 1 is I square is 0. हम 5 को परफेक्ट स्क्वायर बनाने के लिए क्या लिख सकते हैं? अंडर रूट 5 का स्क्वायर, तो भी आंसर 5 ही तो आएगा. तो हम यहाँ पे लिख देंगे x माइनस अंडर रूट 5y का स्क्वायर, और यहाँ पे भी स्क्वायर है. अब x प्लस 5y, x माइनस 5y, and here is under root. So the values of x is under root 5y comma minus under root 5y. We get the solutions. Done? Clear? Now let us take another example, and here in this example I am going to show you the importance of making the perfect square. X square minus 4x plus 13 is equals to 0. Now, can you do any factors? But discriminant formula, you might be thinking that we can use discriminant formula here, but discriminant formula is too long to use. Okay, so here we will do using perfect square. Now, जल्दी से perfect square बना दो. -4 कोफिशिएंट ऑफ, देखो अब यहाँ पे कोफिशिएंट ऑफ एक्स स्क्वायर ऑलरेडी 1 है, यूनिटी है ऑलरेडी, तो हम इसको डिवाइड किसी से नहीं करेंगे. 1 से डिवाइड करेंगे तो 1 ही, मतलब यूनिटी ही तो बनाना था हमें. अब कोफिशिएंट ऑफ एक्स को डिवाइड बाय 2, देन स्क्वायर इट 4, and then we have to add and subtract. Here you can see again a perfect square forming. X square, x minus 2 का whole square, a square plus 4 minus 2 into 2, 4x, and 13 minus 4 is 9. Okay. Now, what will we do here? Now, here is plus. How do we solve these plus? Here is no minus, here is only plus. How will we solve this plus? We will write 9 into minus 1, तो plus 9 हो जाएगा. X minus 2 का whole square minus 9i square is equals to 0. Now you can see the answer coming. X minus 2 का whole square minus 3i का whole square. Now you can solve this question by using a square minus b square, a plus b, a minus b. Now make a note point that complex roots always occur in conjugate pairs and irrational roots also occur in conjugate pairs. Now you must be thinking, what are conjugate pairs? Conjugate pair मतलब कि एक बार plus और एक बार minus. Let me give you an example. Now let us say x1 is equals to 5 plus 2i. It is a complex root. So x2 की value हमेशा आएगी 5 minus 2i. एक बार plus, एक बार minus. You must have learned conjugate pairs in complex number topic. I think so. Another example. x1 is 5 plus 2 root 2. Without hesitation, write 5 minus 2 root 2, the other solution. Okay.